Hello everyone, this is Laura from Discovery Fabric Patterns, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about lengthening our saddle skirt pattern. Our saddle skirt pattern is designed to be worn by someone who's maybe 5'7", 5'8". I'm 5'11", so if I were making a saddle skirt for myself, I might want to add a little bit of length. You'd like the saddle skirt to be long enough to come over your knees when you're riding so that water will shed off of you. Make sure you don't add too much length because you do not want to be tripping on your skirt when you dismount. However, if you are taller like me, it can be nice to add a little bit of extra length. Now, the other reason you may want to use this technique is because our pattern piece is designed to be laid out on a fabric that is 60 inches wide. Behind me, I have it laid out on a piece of Polartec Power Shield that's only 58 inches wide. So you can see the bottom of my pattern is actually hanging off the edge of my fabric. So if I want to cut a saddle skirt that is even as long as our pattern piece, I have a couple of options. In my opinion, by far, the easiest way is to open up your fabric, turn it on the cross grain, and fold it the other way, which I will show you in just a second. And your other option is to sew strips of fabric on to either selvage at the bottom here and actually make your fabric longer. Now, if you don't want to add those seams, because that is a place where rain can seep in, if you don't seal it, you don't want to deal with seam sealing, you just don't want to add the extra seams, like I said, by far, the easiest way is to turn your fabric and fold it on the cross grain. So if I take my pattern piece off here and I fold my fabric the other way, it will not affect the functionality of the garment at all, and I can now use this fold as my fold line for my pattern placement. So now, with my pattern piece sitting on the fabric when it is folded the other way, you can see that I have plenty of fabric past the end of my pattern piece where I can add length or just cut it at the length that it currently is. Now, if I were going to add extra length, there's a line on the pattern itself, right here, that is for lengthening. Now, you can cut the pattern piece itself, and I can add a little piece of paper or whatever I'm using for my pattern right into the pattern itself and make the pattern piece longer, and then I can trace it onto my fabric. Or if I don't want to cut my pattern piece for some reason, I can trace down to that line. So tracing down to here on both sides, and then I can mark this placement here on both sides. I can use a ruler to add my inch, maybe 2 inches. I can mark there on both sides, and then I move my whole pattern piece down to that new mark, and then I can carry on tracing it from there. So either way works if you want to add length to your pattern so that your saddle skirt is a little bit longer. Hope that helps.